Did you know that 1 in 4 women in the UK has experienced some form of domestic abuse? The statistic for men is 1 in 6 in their lifetime. Women are more likely to be repeat victims of this treatment. I was a statistic. Are you as well? Okay, so I raised 2 children in this toxic environment. I'm 57 now, and I've healed a lot, and I've understood about the issues that led to this repeated and long-term abuse. And thankfully, I've broken the cycle and I'm free of narcissism. And I help women like me who eventually got a divorce and realise exactly what's happened. You know, they've had their huge wake-up call. And it can be depressing. It can be overwhelming. I get it totally because I've been there. And it's utterly devastating when you realise what's happened to you. But the important message of this video is that you can reclaim your life and you can find your true self-identity, just like I did. And when you can do that, that's when you can get your freedom to create the life you want. And the other bonus to this is that when you realise that you are creating a good life for yourself, you're breaking the cycle of abuse and mistreatment for your children and for your grandchildren as well, and for future generations. This is probably the subject of another video, but I just wanted to get that message in there. So it's not just for you, it's for your children, it's for your grandchildren, and you're the one who's going to break this cycle, because it could well have been in previous generations. Hello, I'm Sarah. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and transformational coach, and I help women get their confidence and get their life back after divorce from a narcissistic, toxic spouse. And the fact is, and the truth is, we have to be really accepting of these difficult truths when we're on this journey in our recovery. No BS allowed, absolutely none, if we're going to get our life back on track and better than it was before. So the truth is that my self-esteem at the time was absolutely rock bottom anyway, before the narcissistic marriage. And in fact, I'd always had low self-esteem, and it was a feature throughout my life. I can make this statement with hindsight, and I've done a ton of healing on it. But my younger self tried everything to feel better, and she did the best she could. I now know why she felt so badly about herself, and I'm not blaming her one bit, and you shouldn't either. You shouldn't blame yourself if you found yourself in a similar situation, because we didn't know what we didn't know. And another one of my important messages is self-compassion is absolutely key to getting your life back after this horrendous experience. So we're going to offer as much self-compassion as we can. And I think the truth is that we just did the best we could with the knowledge that we got at the time and with the understanding that we got at the time. And it was absolutely not our fault. And I want to be absolutely clear about that. After narcissistic abuse, the bare shreds of self-esteem I actually had were completely destroyed. Maybe this has happened to you. It's the hardest thing. I hit rock bottom. And the thing is that this is the legacy of a narcissistic relationship that's reached its fullest culmination. So maybe you were discarded, maybe you discarded the narcissist. In any event, the narcissist knew that you knew what you were dealing with, and that was the end of it. And I'm not here to talk about narcissist tricks and manipulations, because what really matters is you. what now? How do you build yourself up from ground zero, from the tatters and remnants of how you were feeling? You know, it's overwhelming, and hopefully this video will help you sort of stay focused a little bit on what's important. I deal with all of these issues on my channel, which is just getting started right now, so thanks for stopping by. Check out the link at the end of the video as I share how I recovered my life and I got my sense of self and my self-identity back, and I got a transformation from all of the effects of narcissistic abuse in 6 months. So healing doesn't happen with weekly therapy. That would take too long. Counselling sessions and as well, they can be helpful in the short term, but you have to become your best advocate and your own cheerleader. And if the narcissistic abuse experience has taught us anything, it's that the cavalry isn't coming. So you have to come to your own rescue. That's what I did for me. And it's a scary prospect because we always thought that our sense of self and our self-identity came from what others' opinions were about ourselves. Does that resonate? But the actual truth about self-esteem is that self-esteem comes from within. If, you know, I really want you to get this. It's so important and it's crucial for your recovery. We're talking truth about you on this channel. And we didn't know how to generate our own self-esteem for all sorts of reasons. But you're going to start being able to do that for yourself now. So one thing I did that you may want to consider as well if you're in a similar situation is that you can promise yourself that you're going to take action every day to improve your self-esteem and self-confidence, and that you are going to live and breathe 24 hours of advocating for yourself from now on. By now you've probably realised that everything that you thought was true or safe in your world wasn't, and you got to find that out through the narcissistic abuse or sociopathic abuse experience. So we have to take steps to do things differently from now on, because what we were doing before, look where it got us. So we're rebuilding from ground zero, and think of it like a blank canvas. You are now free to create what you want in your life. And if you can understand this, you're going to put yourself on a really powerful, new, transformative trajectory to getting your life back. So you're freeing yourself from all those old constraints of self-doubt and being reliant on other people's opinions for approval of you. And you know that that is not the way to get your self-esteem. It just doesn't work. So you know now that living life from the outside in, so getting our opinion about ourselves, our self-identity from others, is a complete illusion. But you can make a real life for yourself that's grounded in truth and love for yourself. And it might feel unfamiliar ground at first because we're not used to this we're not used to thinking like this, we're not used to showing up in life like this, and it feels really daunting. But I can promise you that if you can dedicate your time in recovery to focus on reclaiming your self-esteem, you will transform. You will create a happy life for yourself, but you have to focus on you. And there's so many distractions because there's a lot of baggage left over from the relationship, and there's a thing called post separation abuse, which I will leave some videos on my channel for. But those are kind of distractions, and there are ways of dealing with those distractions, but you still have to focus on you. And it seems a massive task, and it seems overwhelming, but if anything was ever true, it's this, is that you can take it step by tiny step. Baby steps will get you a long way. So you've got to start making the things that are unfamiliar to you familiar, because the old ways just didn't work, did they? You've got to start today, and you've got to decide that you're going to start reclaiming your self-esteem. And your future self will thank you for it, because I'm looking back on me, how I was after the split, and it was about 8 years ago, and I'm just so thankful for my younger self that she dedicated this time to healing. And it was a 6-month time scale, and you can do that as well. You just have to decide that you're going to have a better life from now on. So if you want to know more about how to make narcissistic abuse a thing of your past, and how to get on with the rest of your life abuse free, then check out my other videos. And in those I give detailed blueprints about how your transformation can be created. And I did this work on myself in 6 months, so it's all proven to work, and I've worked with clients as well to use these blueprints to get free forever. So give yourself some grace, offer yourself compassion, and make yourself an absolute top priority from now on. So stay tuned and look out for future uploads every Friday, and I'll see you in the next video.